up, oh yeah. Our gold is go crazy. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's wonderful. In the Veve verse, this gon' be my theme song. In the Matrix, I feel like I'm Neo. In my showroom, I got NFTs, so I've been gaming, look at all this crypto. Ready player one, we gon' run it up. Life feel like The Sims, I'm leveling up, oh yeah. But let's see my toe, I've been investing for a minute. AR glasses on my dome, feeding my vision. I'm on a blockchain in the space coupe. We do a show and turn it to venue, oh yeah.
What is going on, fam? Welcome to the stream, and let me know where you're tuning in from today. Today, we're going to talk about a little Veve application, and we're going to talk about investing and building a solid portfolio on Veve. So without further ado, we're just going to literally dive right in. Let me get rid of that little thing there. So today we got the Omi charts pulled up. We have cherry charts, we have Ecomi wiki, we got all the tools pulled up, right? So let me go ahead and pause the music because it's always distracting me when I'm talking. But yeah, so today we're going to talk about building a Veve portfolio and how you can win even as a retail trader or investor. All right, so let's just get into it. First of all, we're going to talk about the Omi token. It is down, so this is something kind of not. Well, I mean, it is breaking because it's considerably down today. It's something I definitely wanted to bring up. It's down to 0.0016. And yeah, this is just maybe macro conditions. As we can see, Bitcoin is, like I said, to watch Bitcoin, and that this would affect the Omi token. And a lot of people, you know, even in all the chats I'm in, people had bullish insights, but I just wasn't convinced that Omi or Bitcoin was just done going, you know, fluctuating. As I mentioned, I think we would see it go sideways for a little bit and fluctuate in between the, yeah, what is it, 25 all the way down to really 17 and a half, 17.5 thousand levels. So in my opinion, it could even break down below that. So it's, to me, it's, now we are seeing like higher lows, so that is definitely a good sign. There is a somewhat of a trend on the up, so I am a little bit more bullish on that end. But yeah, so this is something not too much of a surprise here to me. Now we will see, though, this could easily go back. You know, we could see a green candle to match. Usually when you see a sharp drop off, you know, sometimes you'll see like what happened here is you saw a big dip, another dip, and then we had this huge green candle, or with this big wick all the way at the top. So if you're day trading, that's something to pay attention to. Obviously there. We got people in the chat here. Faisal, what's going on, man? Hello from France. Hey, good to see you. Russ or KD. Ooh. See, I used to be a big KD fan. I was always a Russ fan, like in terms of how he played the game. Although I did get mad at Russ for a while because he just seemed kind of like, I mean, if he implemented more fundamentals into his game, I would have loved him a little bit more. Had he been more of like a conservative player, and he's just kind of too aggressive. Veve Fox, what's going on? Hey, just listening in while working. Hey, appreciate you for joining in. Yeah, welcome everybody in the chat. So yeah, that's kind of the news with the Omi token. Moving on to the next topic, we're kind of seeing, you know, grails, aka blue chips or whatever you want to call them, here on the Veve app, kind of still consolidate as well. Just the overall macro of the markets in general. I think this is just goes back to the sentiment of really, you're talking about stocks, you're talking about the macro crypto market, you're talking about global economies, and people are just really not wanting to put their, you know, I guess throw their bags at, you know, collectibles or at the moment. But we're going to talk about the secret way to build a portfolio here. And we do know, for instance, that the AF-15 comic is coming. AF-15, it just brought up a airline. That's not what we want. We want this one here. So we'll pull up this article talking a little bit about the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man. So this is going on eBay. Here is a 7.0, $700,000. You have another one here, $500,000. So this comic is in high anticipation. You know, this one's a restored one. It's still going for $125,000. I still think this is pretty cool myself. I personally wouldn't care if it's restored, to be honest, because this is still the original book and pages. So I think that's cool. But yeah, like in a nutshell, this is a highly anticipated drop. A lot of people are speculating when it's going to drop. Some people are saying it's next year, not this year. It doesn't matter. It's in the Twitter spaces. I tuned in. I was listening to people talk about it, speculate when it's going to be. I heard the team say this. I heard Alex say that. It doesn't matter. It's on people's minds, right? This strategy, by the way, can be applied during this whole time frame. So this was one of the big grails. There's another one, Journey into Mystery. There's a few comics, right? There's a lot of grails that still haven't been dropped. Maybe DC might drop comics. We don't know, right? The Grails is really the Batman and Superman comics, right? As well. Obviously, this is one of the top ones, or the top one. But with that being said, hey, thanks for subbing. Whoever just subbed, I'm trying to see it here on my screen. Jose, thanks for subbing to the channel. Appreciate you joining the Omi Homie community. Welcome. So let me catch up here on the chat. aka Beskar Batman. Oh, that's your name. Okay, cool. There, Veve fan. Appreciate the 411, brother. What's good, Kyle Tiger Willson? Hey, yo, what's up? Pavle in the house. Let me get the music going again so we can get the vibes back. All right, I'm just going to turn it down on my headset so I can't really hear it. You guys can hear the music, but I won't be able to. All right, so this strategy, obviously, like we're noticing here in the market, is that the Todd McFarlane is obviously dipped really big. And let's use a different example. It really can be any blue chip, right? So, you know, it just depends. So, like, even the Steve, the Harley Quinn here, like, it's down to 5K. Like, all the, like, big, significant, like, blue chips and quote-unquote grails on the app. Riso's down under 5K, #1 Batman, in terms of like the physical statues. He's down. I mean, we could take a whole list of all the like big time collectibles on Veve. You know, obviously Todd McFarlane under 2,000. I think Superman here on the ticker. We have Spider-Man Ultimate Animated under 20K barely. Superman under 1K. So in a nutshell, you know, people have been silently, you know, especially the whales, right? They've been silently pulling out their money and stacking gems in anticipation of this comic right here, in my opinion. Now, there's many different other reasons. We're not going to get into all the litany of a big list of why people have sold off of their grails to maybe buy back cheaper. But yeah, this is going to be like... you know, obviously the biggest anticipated one, because if you can own one of these comics as an NFT, that could be a lot of these whales, like, you know, call signatures, or like their signature or their claim to fame in the Veve app, or maybe they just want it, they just want to collect it. There's a lot of different reasons, right? So in my opinion, that's why we've seen, not only with the market being down, you know, we have the macro market, but it's also doubly getting kind of affected because of this Amazing Fantasy number 15 and how valuable it is. You can see just a 9.6 sells for $3.1 million. So you can imagine why people would be stacking, you know, 30, 40, 50,000 in gems, you know, for a drop like this, you know, when you can snipe it maybe on the market as soon as it hits the market and make a significant amount of money immediately. So this, although while that's a great strategy, not everybody's going to have, you know, 15, 30, 50, 50K gems in their accounts to stack, right? So this is going to present a huge opportunity to retail traders, retail investors, and just your average user on Veve. So what I mean by that is we go back here to, the cherry charts. We look at Todd McFarland, or like I mentioned, any of the other grails. We have the Steve Pugh or Pug. I don't know how you pronounce it. I think is it somebody help me on this one. Is it Steve Pug or Steve Pugh? Let me know in the comments below. So yeah, we are. Let's just take a look here. We're gonna just see if we can search this. We'll just do. What's a grail? Just throw out a grail, and we'll take a look. Even Marvel Comics number 1, I think would have a bit of a dip as well if this was, especially if this was announced. Like, people are already speculating on this now. So imagine when they actually announce this. So can you imagine the dip that's going to happen when this is actually announced? It's going to affect some of these other grails significantly. And look at this. We have the Marvel Comics #1 actually fallen under the secret rare Spider-Man. So it's at 18,000 gems right now. So we can come over here to Ecomi Wiki and let's see about. I think I have to be logged in. That's all right. We'll just take a look here. We got the Veve logos here. This was somewhat of a grail. I mean, 500 editions, maybe less, minted, or at least claimed. But can you imagine what's going to happen when these big drops are going to be announced? We're going to see, like, in my opinion, we're going to probably see a app-wide dip in the market. So between now and then, even full speculation, the Twitter spaces going 24/7. I think this is going to create a really good opportunity for your average user, because even these smaller collectibles that maybe aren't the grails, or quote unquote like the kind of mid-tier. I think Sleeping Comics has like his own ranking system. He's got S tier, A tier, B tier, all that good stuff. So like the B tier ones, I think would do really well on the app as well. So we're gonna go in here. Let me see if I can log in over here on the side real quick. So we're gonna come over here to the comics. If I can get into here. Oh, we need to go to the graphs, go to the comics. We'll just put in like a decent comic here. So maybe like Daredevil. So this isn't the first one. Let's see. Yeah, Daredevil #1. So this is the first. First appearance of Daredevil. So this one's a decent one. We'll take a look here at the secret rare. It's only at 1,400 gems, but I believe this one will dip even more, like on a bigger drop or a bigger announcement, for instance. So this isn't your S tier. This is going to be like an A tier or something like that. First appearance of a major character. And yeah, so like if this thing dips under 1K or even all the way down to 500, from whales trying to hurry up and trying to get their gems collected up for some of these other bigger drops, especially the market being down, I could see this significantly dropping. Whales just kind of dumping these like really good collectibles in comics for to stack gems, right? For the Amazing Fantasy #15, or if we do get a DC, and I hope we do, DC Comics that we'll get like maybe Action Comics and Detective Comics, all those like old golden age comics as well on the app. So I think this presents a huge opportunity for your average user, right? Not everybody has 30, 50, 100K gems just stacked up, but I think this has a very great opportunity for your average user on the app in terms of collecting some of these really iconic comics and collectibles as well. So we took a look at some of the collectibles, but when we take a look at some of these iconic comics as well, I think this presents a really great opportunity. So yeah, here's the comic once again. This is going to be your common cover, or aka the cover that is highly sought after IRL. Maybe you could go after some low mints. I could see some whales definitely cutting half their price down, on a big drop or something like that. Especially while the market's down. Whales aren't prone to the market conditions either. And they know that if they don't cut their prices down, that, people, they're not going to have as much high liquidity, or they're not going to be liquid, or their collectible is not going to be very liquid. They're going to have to lower their prices in anticipation of a larger grail like the Amazing Fantasy number 15. So this is how people can really consolidate in what they like, or possibly build your own portfolio this way. Now, it doesn't have to be the collectibles or comics I listed. There's obviously like hundreds and hundreds of comics now at this point, or tons of comics rather. You even have Venom, of course. We've seen the first appearance of Carnage. There's many others as well. There's even independent comics coming down the line. But yeah, so let me go ahead and see if I can find. We'll do maybe Journey into Mystery. Really any of the Journey into Mystery. Let's see if it pulls up. I don't know if it's called by that name. I guess I should have just logged into the Veve app. I think that might have been more useful. We could actually just pull up the web app here in just a little bit, but you guys kind of get the picture and the idea. Another thing I wanted to notate here, so we're just gonna move on. You guys get the picture, you get the idea. Best current important Veve information, Amazing Fantasy 15 will do extremely well in the app. Can't wait. Oh yeah, it's going to do extremely well, and that's why this will present an opportunity for maybe people that are going to be, that's going to be out of reach for most people. I think right out of the gates, it's going to be out of reach for people. So this is going to present a huge opportunity for your average user on the Veve app, which is most users on the Veve app. So I think even average users on the Veve app are trying to stack gems for this, or something like that. Maybe there's more speculation. There's still like, what if, say the P word, there's still that speculation out there, right? But yeah, going to the Omi token, back to the Omi token. This is something that, a lot of other traders or a lot of people or other users on the Veve app will say, has really been promoting the Omi token and saying like, I'm, selling my collectibles for Omi or whatever. Now this is kind of, now that, I've been, my thoughts have been a little bit different on this lately, is that when you're thinking about buying into, now this is financial advice, entertainment only, right? But we are taking a look at some of these grails and things like that. We can take a look at some others, like even Mickey, the first animated Mickey. Let's see, all together now. Let's see if we can see collectibles. Let's see if we can pull it up here. So we're gonna pull up the Mickey, and this one's under 1K. So this one is definitely taking a hit. This one's definitely taking a hit. It was all the way down to 670 gems. So I don't know, like maybe this continues to dip. It does look like we're at the kind of the bottomed out area, because you can start to see this thing. We're starting to consolidate sideways, and then volume kind of picked up around here. So we're getting a little bit more volatile. I think maybe we'll start noticing a slight increase. Maybe we'll see the other side of this like bull, so to speak. Usually you see patterns like this in trading. You'll see it go all the way to the bottom. It consolidates. Things that remain undervalued will move sideways for a while, and then what happens is the inverse is like this will go and really match the bowl kind of this pattern right here and form like a teacup and handles. Not all the time, but this is kind of like what happens sometimes. But with that being said, when you're taking a look at the Omi token, and it's doing the same thing, right? It's consolidating, but there's no, you can't really say that Omi is going to outperform the collectibles on the Veve app, right? I think also people have liquidated a lot of collectibles to get into Omi, which presented a huge opportunity currently and maybe will be consistent for a while, is people doing this, liquidating collectibles for Omi, which is going to present a huge opportunity. Is still, and it is currently right now, in my opinion, as well. But it's presenting a huge opportunity for people to enter into these like really iconic collectibles. And nobody's to say like this thing could go back up to 10 G's, right? So it went up to 10 G's before. Some may disagree with that. Some may say, you know, I don't know if it's going to go back to all-time highs. But when you're talking about the first animated Mickey NFT, based on the first animated Mickey, singing Mickey IRL, I think that is pretty iconic. And what I'm seeing in the macro NFT space as well is a lot of these like big YouTubers that got like kind of famous on, you know, these PFP random generated, you know, kind of, not all of them are garbage. Some of them are cool. I like some of these projects, but a lot of these like PFPs have faded out. They went to zero, or at least went like significantly down in value, which is not too much of a surprise. But I'm starting to see a shift in their content as well. They're starting to do more branded style NFTs. You know, they gave Nickelodeon all this praise and things like that. They've even mentioned like, you know, I was wrong about the macro NFT space, you know, and some of them feel bad for steering people in the wrong direction because they lost a lot of people a lot of money. Now, obviously, like the market's down in general, so I don't think it was like they're prone to, like nobody was prone to get away from this. Obviously, like literally every market in the world is down, right? And so with that being said, I still think that seeing a shift in their macro, in the content, and seeing them getting into more branded NFTs is very interesting to me. And it excites me because I know they're starting to open up to the fact that these branded iconic NFTs are going to be probably more valuable than those, obviously, than a lot of those PFP projects that they promoted. And a lot of those projects in the macro NFT space were just startups that had literally no roadmap, no vision, no, no long-term goals or anything like that. Just pure speculation, pure, take the money and run type of launches and things like that in the macro. But we know Veve obviously is going to be around for a very long time. They're at San Diego Comic-Con at the Marvel booth and everything like that. And so we know that Veve has a very long-term vision with some solid founders and a solid team built around it. So this is what separates it from the macro NFT space. And I think I'm seeing conversations with bigger influencers. Crypto Stash is talking about it. We've seen BitBoy Crypto, even though he's like, he loves decentralization. Listen, these guys have built their channels around decentralization. So the moment they switch in terms of content too quickly, they're going to alienate their audience, and their audience is going to check out. So these guys have to be very careful about how they communicate. Kind of like more centralized platforms like Veve. Now, I'm big into both. I like both, but I do understand and I realize that you need a mixture of both to really make things go mainstream. And these macro NFT YouTubers are starting to realize this. So I think that this could spell out for a very bullish case in the not so distant future. I don't know if that's short term or midterm, probably midterm, as we start to notice their content start to shift and focus on platforms like Veve. Because at the moment or last year, they were too afraid. They can't just talk about branded NFTs when their entire channels are just dedicated towards these random PFP projects, right? So that's another opportunity that I'm looking out for, or like at least a strategy, or a kind of a meta, if you will, like a kind of a metric I'm using on the side here to kind of analyze the macro NFT space as a whole. Even seeing Gary Vee start to mention some branded, like what's his favorite like characters and things like that. I think we'll even see some of these bigger influencers come around as well. But yeah, like the opportunities now, I think that's my opinion, is that like while these NFTs are in these comics and collectibles are down big, like, and they could go lower, like there's a possibility that this speculation is going to drive people wild until it actually happens. We may not see it for now. We might see it next year. Some people have said like they're going to wait till the market is perfect and like incredibly well. You know, that's all their opinions, right? We don't know when they're going to drop this. They could drop this at any time they wanted to. Marvel could have a shift in their policy or what they want to do with this IP. So it's not up to Veve really. Like, maybe it is. Like, I know David, you has a lot of say in what happens now because of the success of Veve, but we still don't know. Like, nobody knows for sure. In my opinion, I don't think, you know, I think there's a lot of speculation there, but that being said, there's just a lot of opportunity here. With that being said, so anyways, let me get back to the comics here. AF-15 is fun to speculate on. Enjoy your day, Veve fam. Hey, it really is. Veve Las Vegas. Just got some hot garbage of my own on OpenSea. Yo, what's going on, Justin? Yeah. Now, there is really good stuff on OpenSea, so I'm not trying to say like OpenSea is a bad place. There's a lot of bad things on there that happen, but I'm almost at like over 100 NFTs on OpenSea right now. So I have a significant amount of NFTs on OpenSea. I'll be teasing my own NFT actually here pretty soon, which will have some utility as well. So be on the lookout for that. I mean, it looks really clean. I mean, you guys are going to be hopefully impressed by this NFT. It's supposed to be both fun to collect this NFT, but you're also going to get some utility out of it. I don't know what I'm going to price it at. The market's like really down, so I might price it just accordingly with the market. I don't mind launching an NFT project in the bear market. That's totally fine with me because I'm not here for a money grab. I'm not here for, you know, to launch at the peak of the bull market and things like that. I'm here for the long term. And for me, this first NFT drop is going to be fun for me mostly, and hopefully fun for you, but it'll be priced accordingly. It'll be priced very well, I think. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. So it's something I teased for a long time too. So I wanted to originally be the first like person in the community to drop an NFT, but a lot of people have done so since. But this one's going to be really fun. It's going to be a super high quality, well done NFT that's going to look very, very sexy, very good, and it's going to be pretty collectible. It's going to be highly collectible, and yeah, I got big plans for it, and it'll have more utility than any NFT currently, I think, in the community. And maybe you'll see some names in there that's familiar, so be on the lookout for that. It's going to be fun. And so yeah, that's all I'll say on that. Imagine getting the Rings of Power. Looking at 15, AF-15 reminds me of when MC1 was $1. Yeah. Man, I bought a few of those. Like I bought, yeah, Marvel Comics #1. I think if I go into the app, I still think I got the ultra rare for like 4 gems or 6 gems or something stupid crazy. Unfortunately, I missed a lot of that because I was on vacation with my wife and friends, and so unfortunately I missed out like on a lot of action there. I was still able to like go to my phone and buy a couple. But I really wish I paid attention more while I was on vacation during that time. Very unfortunate. You know, I definitely would have got the secret rare had I had more time, I think. But it is what it is. You know, Veve's full of opportunity, and that's what this whole stream is about today. It's about how you can build your portfolio in an intelligent way, and I think this is a way. So we're going to recap it all, and then we're going to end the stream. And of course, there's other people streaming at this time, but yeah, to recap it, there's going to be titles, Daredevil #1, you know, first appearance, stuff like this. It doesn't have to be S tier, it could be A or B tier comics and collectibles that I think will continue to possibly dip, especially we'll take a look at Amazing Fantasy #15, especially around this time. If they have some type of news, even if it's next year, be on the lookout for this window of opportunity as well. And lastly, the Omi token is not a sure guarantee that, you know, you're going to maximize your portfolio by liquidating your NFT collection to sell into Omi, which I think a lot of people are kind of having somewhat of this kind of narrative, if you will, because these NFTs currently are so undervalued, in my opinion, a lot of them. You know, we don't even have to, we can go to some other ones here. So I don't want to Full disclosure, I own a couple of them, obviously. I'm no whale by any means, and I don't own multiples of these grails or anything like that. So, as you know, I very rarely sell any grails or blue chips, as you know. So, there's no pumps and dumps going on here, but yeah, so yeah, obviously like Todd McFarlane, I own just one of those. I had two at one point. And I had to sell to get into some other cool collectibles and comics and things like that. So yeah, so there's reso and things like that. Doesn't even have to be like even that crazy. It could be maybe it could be a ultra rare Spider-Man or a uncommon Spider-Man, something significant like that. That could be maybe the step under, something like that. Let me go through the list, see if I can find a list here. Obviously, we have some speculation on the Infinity Stones, right? Which is pretty funny. I think it's actually fun. That one's a fun speculation piece, in my opinion. I think that's really fun for the community. I know a lot of people are like, I don't like speculation. I think that one's a really fun one to speculate on. And I think there's definitely substance there to that. So, yeah. So there could be first appearance of... I don't know where my Marvel Mighties went. Let's see if I can go Marvel Mighties, see if it pulls up by that tag. Yeah, like the Odin here. I think that's first appearance Odin. Ultra rare. Beta Ray Bill. I think he's dipped quite significantly. I think 200 gems, like 63 gems for Odin. Like just pointing out like a lot of these like super iconic characters in their first appearance. Even Spider-Man 2099, who's down from like 2,000 gems or maybe even more, which I knew he would go down. I knew people would get shiny object syndrome, but I think it's going to happen even more when stuff like these big titles drop from now until then. Or they'll stay consistent around these prices, which should give people enough time to get into these characters in collectibles and comics. And that's kind of the recap of this whole thing. Because the next bull run, I think these comics and collectibles that have already performed pretty well in this last bull market, I think they'll continue to do really well in the next bull market and perform maybe even better and more consistent as well. I don't think we'll see too many like major... I think the longer this app is around and things like that, I think we'll see more of a consistency in these comics and collectibles, especially as we see more and more users come to Veve over time. It's not a sprint to the finish line. It's gonna be a jog. It's gonna be a marathon, and this is a collectibles app. So yeah. So just make sure you do what you do. And yeah, this is all just my opinion and what I've kind of noticed and kind of switched up in my strategy. I may not even try to go for this. I'll obviously try to go for it off the drop. There's a huge excitement around this. So obviously I'm going to go for it. It's iconic. The first appearance of Spider-Man. It's obviously a super iconic comic, but this leaves a lot of room for opportunity at the end of the day. And so yeah, that's pretty much all I got for the stream. Let me know what you think about all of that. And like I said, like when you're thinking about Omi, I think that the underlying mechanics are awesome and pretty sweet. But I think in terms of these comics and collectibles, I just think that there's a lot of opportunity here as well. I think a lot of people and maybe some larger whales have discounted the opportunity over here. I think that a lot of these titles are going to be huge, even the A tier ones, and maybe not, the super iconic characters like the Daredevils and things like that. I think those are going to perform quite well in the future. And I think that the macro NFT space is going to start coming over to the Veve app as well when these other content creators start talking more and more about branded NFTs. I think we're going to see it's going to start slow, right? We're going to see a notice of increase in content or a trickle. And then I think they're going to start racing each other to who can create more content the most about platforms like Veve and brands, because they realize that I've even seen some of these content creators that have like over 200,000 or around 200,000 to 100,000 subscribers. They're launching their own agencies now, and I think they're eyeing like the overall mainstream appeal of these NFTs. And so I think that they're trying to also have it run a business, right? They're going to try to attract, major companies and brands so that they can advise them how to drop NFTs and things like that. So that's kind of like what I see playing out here in the long term, or maybe even midterm, in terms of influencers and things like that. I'm still a small fish at the end of the day. When in terms of the NFT space, I still have to compete with 100, 200,000 subscriber NFT YouTubers. I've talked about PFPs for a long time. So I once they shift over and they start talking about this, the Veve community is going to look much smaller than what it seems right now. So and we know that, like, I've been on channels like Paul Barron. He knows about Veve. Obviously, he covers many things, but we could even see, some of these larger channels talk more about platforms like Veve, or maybe dedicated channels in the future that are just larger, or maybe they break off and maybe want to start their own NFT channel or something like that. But anyways, that's what I see playing out in the macro. I know that's something that's like, not directly reflected to price action, but it's more like an indirect vanity type metric but I still use it, right? Because there's platforms like, I think it's called Luna Crush, that actually analyzes these analytics, social analytics behind cryptos and NFTs. So it's a free platform. It's actually something I used to watch a little bit when I was tweeting about the Omi token specifically. I could actually, like, you could actually check the rankings, like, and things like that, which was pretty weird to be ranked in here. A lot of people were using it back in the day. I don't even care anymore. I try not to even use the hashtag or the $ emoji or $ Omi token, because I don't want to be ranked in here anymore. Like, I'd rather be like having fun and things like that. But it is something I watch. I do look at these analytics when it comes to content creators and things like that. I do think that there's obviously like a connection there, or else I wouldn't be talking about it. And on Kenobi, hey man, you're entitled to your own opinions. No biggie there. I think the Gray Hulk mobster thing she'll be She-Hulk. Seems like something a lawyer would deal with. Rewatch. Hey, yeah, let's go on the rewatch. Sleeping Comics, the man, the myth, the legend, the sleep, the man, the myth, the sleep. We'll just say that. we got to come up with a tagline for Sleeping Comics, a fun one. LFG. Okay, did I miss the strategy? Yeah, so you have to rewatch it all. There's like 3 big elements, I think I would say, in the strategy. Fuster with the faming Veve vault should sue that. Hey, I'm staying out of that whole debacle. I think, yeah, I'm just gonna stay out of that topic right there. I don't want to devalue the stream here and talk about drama. Is DCA still the best approach in the current market? It depends what you're talking about. Are you talking about Omi or the collectibles or comics? Looking at, okay, so all caught up there. I think we end it here. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. You know what to do if you like the stream. And also, please share it if it helped you as well, and you think it could help a friend. I'd much appreciate it. This is totally just something I was really thinking of recently, in how ways and opportunities that I could see present themselves. Last year, I talked a lot about the window of opportunity that's happening on the cash out and how that would play out and the market would dip and things like that. I talked a lot about that last year, and I can see this being another one of those big windows of opportunity as well moving forward. But that's all I got for the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in, and be like an NFT, be authentic. I'll catch everybody later. I'll be coming out with a little bit more gaming content here on the channel as well. I do really believe that there's going to be a lot of opportunity in gaming platforms and things like that. It's something I've even bought into on OpenSea, some actual game comics. There's some cool projects. Let me see if I can actually pull that up. Well, maybe I'll just pull it up in another stream. But yeah, it's very interesting. There's cheap comics on some of these like new games that are coming out in the NFT space and the Web3 gaming space, and I want to do a little bit more content there. I had talks with a huge game platform recently, and I will be somewhat of like hopefully an ambassador for them and have my own creator code. So I want to mix up the content here because this channel is all about fun, comics, collecting, Veve. I think games as well. I think this is a good mix of where my content will be moving forward. So let me know if you're excited about that in the comments, if you want to see more gaming content as well. I think it's just fun, right? When I'm doing my comics and collecting and collectibles, I'll be doing some gaming too. This is like a dream for me. So I don't know. I think I'll continue to do that. Gaming. What's up, Daniel? Yo, what's going on, Daniel? Thank you for subscribing, Dave Nelson. Appreciate you. All right. Good luck on the drop. I think there's one in like 30 minutes. So good luck on that today. Let me know how you guys do on Twitter. And I will see you guys in the next one. And peace. I'll see you later.
Diamond hands, had on hella bands, I invest money very off. Tiptoe with this crypto, feel like Jim Jones where I'm ballin'. Big whale, I make money moves in that open sea, you a dog. Rest in peace to the paper head, green candle, put him in a coffin. We at an all-time high, partying in Dubai. We breaking out of the sky, moonshot when we fly, yo. Paper hand just might cry, price could blow your mind. Won't let it pass me by, we on an all-time high, yo. We at an all-time high, partying in Dubai. We breaking out of the sky, moonshot when we fly, yo. Paper hand just might cry, price could blow your mind. Won't let it pass me by, we on an all-time high, yo.
Hey, it's a cold world, better bundle up. Couple flips, I'm 100 up. I don't even need a jacket on this side, every day the sun is up. Look, I can show you how to really run it up. Talking big money, get your duffel up. They clapping hands by the couple bands, that's small money, you ain't done enough. My crypto boom and call it perfect timing. I ain't even hurting nine, it's them broke days seem so far and I'm so sharp I could cut a diamond. Just at the Virgin Islands, about to hit the Emirates, you know we wildin'. Them broke boys spreading FUD talk, don't make me laugh, ain't even worth the comment. Nah, tell me how that sound to bosses. Celebrate wins and we learn from losses. Look, I ain't even capping, need on a dental practice how much we flossing. Yeah, been around the block, this ain't nothing new, but we do this often. I walk the walk, and if money talks, then my crypto wallet's gotta be monologuing. Ball out soon as my flight lands. Blue water, white sand, sitting short side with the whole fam, just vibing out, catching a light tan. Hustle strong, don't hustle wrong, wanna see success, you found the right man. But please excuse me, we can talk later, cause at the moment got Dubai plans on game.
Diamond hands, had on hella bands.